Hansal sir, Gagan, thank you so much for being part of this conversation, having coffee with me. We are here in our studios, in our office, the new office. So, सबसे पहले तो कैसा लग रहा है ये बताइए? How are you feeling here?
Very nice, very nice. It's very bright and colorful and cheerful. So it seems like things are happening for the better.
Yeah, okay. You seem to have cooked a lot, from whether it is scam, whether it is scoop, now scam again. What's cooking in your kitchen? सबसे पहले तो ये बताइए.
कुछ नहीं अभी we have 5 more episodes of this installment of Scam yet to go. So we are still finishing final touches in the post production and the edit वो चल रहे हैं. So it is so we are right now completing 5 episodes that we have promised our audiences who have given us so much love. So we are finishing those. And we are hoping that they come out by November. And I'm awaiting the film that I've made with Kareena, The Buckingham Murders.
Yes.
So that is playing at the London Film Festival in October. I just got a notification saying that the tickets are sold out. How do we get tickets? So I don't know. It's not in my hands.
Ticket की अभी बहुत controversy चल रही है, so we will talk about that a little later. Gagan, you tell me, you are part of a Hansal Mehta franchise, and this is the first time you're working with him. And I know it is kind of a cliche question to ask an actor, how is it like on the sets? But I would like to ask you, how is it like beyond the sets of Hansal Mehta? I'm sure this is like one big family, like Hansal sir just explained that it extends, the show extends into so many volumes. It's that much of amount of work. It started, I think, during COVID when you got that call and when you were finalized.
Yes.
To finally working, and then probably I'm sure you must be having your home visits and everything. So how is it like working with Mr. Mehta?
It's been my absolute pleasure working with this genius man sitting right next to me. I mean, from the day one that I met, the call, everything, there is not even a single second that I am not learning from this guy. He without teaching anything, without preaching anything, in just being what he is, he inspires me every day. Yeah, so it was beautiful experience learning from him on the sets, off sets. Whenever we had our little chats, the experience that he has of life and where he came from, how he became filmmaker. Although he jokes about it, saying something. अब अगला scam मैं इस बात पे बनाऊंगा कि how did I become director? But it's no scam. It's no scam. I think it's his great mind and his hard work that has made him the director he is today. And I'm lucky to be selected by him and to be able to work with him on this.
तो घर में ये बताइए कि घर में क्या होता है? What really goes on? Because I have seen his Instagram posts. I have seen that he loves to cook as much as he loves to eat. But I'm sure खाना ज़्यादा बनाना पसंद करते हैं, लोगों को host करना पसंद करते हैं.
Unfortunately, I couldn't go the second time he called me. But the first time I went, he had cooked. Obviously him and his house help. They all cooked very elaborate meal for us, and we all sitting at the table we were having it, and I was just having this discussion. Okay, what do you think Abdul Karim Telgi's character, would it be a right-handed character or a left-handed character? Accordingly, I'll choose. He said, any, no problem. I said, I'm asking this question because I'm a lefty. And he said, I'm also a lefty. And our director, Tushar Hiranandani, who was sitting there, he also said, I'm also a lefty. So it was like a big coincidence. Eating, 3 lefties together eating, and that was our first meeting. After that, I have been to his house once or twice, and it's always food and love, always there.
Even the criticism is very food based, and that's why I started my interview with this, because I saw your Twitter timeline, and I think they were comparing 1992 and 2003 Scam, and somebody said bhindi की सब्जी थी ये, उसके बाद ये आलू गोभी की सब्जी है, but thankfully आलू गोभी, bhindi was better than aloo gobi, and you said, but just watch it in exclusivity. Why are you comparing the two?
Absolutely.
So how do you feel about that comparison?
Well, it's inevitable.
Yeah.
You have to accept it. It is coming on the heels of a very successful first season. It was a surprise sleeper hit, if you can call it that. And So it is a tough, and so I have accepted that. Okay, the people are going to compare, but I think this has a lot more and a lot different to offer from the first season. There is a perspective that is different. There is a director who is not me.
Yeah, of course.
Who has sort of interpreted the material. There is some of the things that were good about the first season, they are still retained. So I think overall, even people who have compared the two have enjoyed the show. And the kind of love it has got is overwhelming. That just makes you feel very vindicated, very gratified. कि yes, comparisons होते रहेंगे, but आपको अच्छा लगाना. The important thing is that उनको अच्छा लगना चाहिए. We've been hearing the numbers that the show has been doing, discussing some of the numbers, and it's overwhelming. I mean, I think it is done better even than the first season. So a lot more people are watching it, a lot more people are subscribing in order to watch the show. So there's a lot of love for the franchise. It just makes it that much more encouraging for us to move forward with this into a third season.
How much does it take out of you? Because obviously the director in you would never take a back seat, but just to take that back seat and become a creative director and repose that kind of faith in a Tushar, how much does it take out of a Hansal Mehta, or is it easy for you?
Well, nothing is easy. You don't like to let go. But I think we built a very good working relationship. I had done Bose earlier with Pulkit, who had directed it, and it was a similar kind of symbiotic relationship where I would help in the edit, he would call me if he needed help. Same, Tushar would call me, he would speak to me every day. I was watching the rushes. I've also shot some days, I've directed for a certain number of days, and I've sat actively on the edit. So it's not been very different, it's just been the physical act of being on set which has considerably reduced. And that one, I wanted a fresh pair of eyes. Secondly, I was shooting Scoop. I was already committed to Scoop at that time. I was already in the shoot when the shooting of Scam began.
Gagan, you spoke about the phone call that came from Mr. Mehta that you say has changed your life, but you have been a fairly impressive performer when it is about stage, when it is about, and that's probably what led Mr. Mehta and the team of Scam to zero in on you. It was not just about whether you have an uncanny resemblance of the character that you're playing, but what was it like when you actually thought that Mr. Mehta, or probably when you got that second call that, okay, fine, you're coming, just come, I liked your audition. What was going on in their head of yours? Because I was reading your interviews and you said the pehla audition to maine aise hi kiya tha. I was not really into it.
No, I mean, like, there are many ways to put this thing, but I didn't mean that I was not into it. It was like I didn't try as hard. It is like I would give it as any audition. Sometimes you, as actors, you become lazy of your art because you know that you're getting work and you're getting recognized, and then we are performing a very hit play, Piya Behru Piya, which we are performing all over and getting recognized for that. So you tend to be, actors are always like that. Most of at least I am. So when I gave the audition for the first time, I didn't understand the gravity of it, how important this could be in the future. I couldn't foresee that. So I just did it. When Mukesh Chabra sir said that maza nahi aaya, and the magic that you create in theatre, that's what I'm looking for. At that time I understood, oh, I need to recheck my capabilities and I need to, give it that push, and maybe it will work. And that's when I realized that's a minute difference that I went through. And nothing was going on. I mean, Mukesh Chabra already told me after the second audition, already told me that it was a very good audition and I'm sending it to Hansal sir right away. And I said, okay, good. But then I went on to do my daily things. Like I went to the grocery store to buy food for my cats. And in the middle of that, Mukesh Chabra sir called again. And then he said, I'm taking Hansal sir online, he wants to speak to you. And that's when he said, you're on. And I was like, just standing in the middle of the road, not knowing what to do next. So it took me some time.
Start putting on weight.
Yes, that he said. But that time he said that give me 1 week's time. I need to talk to Applause people. I need to talk to Sony people, producers, and I'm sure that I can convince them. But still, give me 1 week's time. Hold on your horses right now. So as happy as I was, I didn't want to like jinx it, kind of a thing. So I was keeping mum.
What do you have to say about that honesty that comes with Hansal sir? The conversations that he had with you, and the director that you probably in his past work also, like this statement that he made, he did not give you any false hopes.
No.
He just said that yeah, you're on, but I would still go ahead and do these checks which are required, which are important, because obviously I'm making a product. Have you seen that honesty come in each of his work, of what you've seen in the past and while working with him?
Absolutely. Every thing he says, he means it. He's not putting on any facade or anything, no political games here. It's like, as he says, that's what he is. And I think that's the belief I had, that once he said that you are on and put on weight without any second thoughts, even if it meant like tomorrow the program could be cancelled, because it's a kind of very dicey industry, maybe a producer's back out, or maybe they have a quarrel between them and they might fall out and the product can be shunned. But I believed in him and I said, okay, let's go ahead. I'm not thinking twice about it. So
I'm taking a cue from what he said about from not being political. You have been a fairly political filmmaker. All your subjects have been that. From being, not fearing on what you want to make, whether it's a film like Shahid, to how the topography of even the film industry has changed because of the political lines that filmmakers take, or because of the political push that they get because of the ruling party, or otherwise. There can be many claims. Have you seen that change, or things remain the same?
I don't know. I never saw it that way. You see, you cannot separate your politics from yourself. Even if you claim to be apolitical, you are not. Somewhere, what is your politics? As a common person, your politics is about the way you value other people, the way you value other lives, the way you value the way of living, economy, empathy. For me, that is politics. And that will never change. I can never see two people differently because of their caste, color or religion. So that is my politics, and that does not belong to any party, because I am not a politician, I am a storyteller. But yes, I have certain values, and it's very simple, I don't discriminate. I don't believe in discrimination. I abhor any kind of discrimination, any kind of unrest in the name of caste, color or religion. And that shows in my work, whatever it is. And I think when the intention is that, not to sensationalize things, not to either be an activist or a propagandist, neither. When the intention is to tell a story and to be truthful towards your characters, to be empathetic, you don't get into trouble. There's no trouble.
But what about the people who are watching your films and watching your shows? Do you think those eyes have changed, the way they dissect the product?
No. In fact, the kind of popularity I've had in the last 4 to 5 years, I've not seen in my entire career. So that, it goes counter to the argument that, so I always believe that if there is a time of adversity, it's the best time to tell your stories. And वो ब्रेकने का है.
What do you feel about it? For example, Gagan, there's a Jawan that's released. It's doing stupendously well. There's been a controversy that's been associated with one of the biggest superstars of the country, vis-a-vis his son. There is a statement that comes out in the film's trailer कि बेटे को touch करने से पहले बाप से deal करना पड़ेगा, and so much was said about it. So do you think there's much too much that's been made about an actor's on camera face, on what his leanings will be, or what are the kind of statements that he'd want to make in real life?
Frankly speaking, I have not seen the film, so I don't know in what context this has been said. Until I see it, it will be foolish of me to comment anything about it, you know. I don't want to make any random statements here.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Well, I'd still want to understand, like Hansal sir, abhi G20, the summit has culminated. India will, of course, culminate the presidency on the 30th of November. It's been a fairly grand success. But let's say when an actor comments on it, or when a filmmaker comments on it, obviously lauding the efforts of the government, it's taken in two different lights. How do you see that?
I don't think it should be. First of all, I would desist from commenting. I was not part of the G20 summit. I don't know exactly what has happened. I have not read the declaration.
Yeah.
You know, you can blame me for being unaware. But yes, I am blissfully unaware because I am busy, you know, reading my work.
Yeah.
So I am ultimately a storyteller.
Yes.
I'm not here to actually, you know, hold a flag. My flag is my work. My statement is through my work. My statement is through my characters. It is through their journeys. And I want to keep that.
When you won your national award, I remember you, Rajkumar, I was interviewing you at the Vigyan Bhavan and you said it's a vindication for me. Would you say that again when you get the national award? Because that also has become very political now.
Well, it was a vindication of my entire life as a filmmaker. When I won the national award, it is for that struggle of being able to make a film like Shahid,
Yes.
with an actor who nobody was willing to back, with a director who nobody was willing to back, without having the resources or the money to make a film. You know, and for me that was the vindication. That was the big vindication, that we made a film with honest, truthful intentions. And that won. And I just wish that is rewarded, that awards validate the efforts and the talent in a honest and genuine manner. That awards are not tainted or colored by considerations that go beyond what they are meant for. If it's for cinematic merit, please award cinematic merit, no matter what it is. You know, I might not agree with the film's message, but I must agree with its cinematic merits. I have a problem with cinematic merit not being awarded. I have a problem with poor cinematic merit being awarded. You know, that makes me suspicious, and that I don't want to be that. I want to believe in the validity, in the, you know, I want to actually I don't want to lose the joy of winning that only one award which has credibility.
Right, correct. Absolutely. And coming back to Scam, Gagan, I was also, you know, seeing the posters and everything. People are talking about it. People are discussing the ending of Volume 1. That's the kind of engagement. आजकल तो viral engagement और इसी सारे लिंगों में हम बात करते हैं because everything is about digital content. How do you see this digital space booming, especially after COVID, and the kind of merit that it's given to actors like yourself? Because, or even a Pratik for that matter, people who are only, let's say, watching content which is coming out of the northern part of the country haven't really seen much of the work that Pratik has done, or your work, or your stage work. So do you think this is really something which is very blissful for actors across spectrum?
What platform are we talking about? Like, you mean to say
OTT,
about
digital,
the OTT
yes.
digital platform? Yes, definitely. I think it has just given made the playing field even for people like me who might not have, like, you know, Greek god looks and six packs, but we might be very simply you know, good at our art, or have worked hard at our job. So definitely it has given us all a chance to showcase what we have been working for all these years, the amount of training that we take, or the hard work we put, or hardships that we went through to just be able to get noticed by the audience and get their attention and love. Definitely, I think it's a boon for us.
And would you then go ahead and compare with Hollywood to what is happening to the Indian film industry now? Because people there back then used to talk about each and every kind of actor, irrespective of looks or six-pack or, you know, Greek god looks. It was, and Idris Elba is equally celebrated and talked about, and obviously because of his looks and otherwise, or an Al Pacino for that matter. It's been happening for so many years. It's only recently that we talk about characters and characters being played by actors who have that kind of caliber. Do you have you seen that set in late in the country, or do you think it's been there?
See, our industry is anyway behind their industry for quite some time. Like we started making movies here later than them.
Yeah.
The movie business came there first,
Yeah.
you know. By the time we started, they were already grown. So yeah, to some extent, we do follow that norm. We do follow. We watch English movies. We watch international cinema, and we do take inspiration from that. But it's better late than never. At least we are acknowledging that art is not. Ours is a growing country, developing country. There was a developed country, so it might have come late over here, but it's always good to see that acceptance and that kind of open-mindedness towards this new wave that has started. Yeah. So.
And finally, how much are you taking in with the number game? Would it disappoint you if Scam 1992 was better than 2003 via numbers, or would you not even go there?
You know, first and foremost, there are no numbers. You know, there are some metrics that are given to us, and in those metrics, I mean, luckily the metrics are slightly broad-based. You know, we are talking about engagement. So I'm just looking for engagement, and if the numbers say that my audience is engaging with my story, that's what I've struggled for all my life. That I've made this film, I've told you this story. I want the maximum number of people to watch it, and I think that is happening. And just you know, one piece of information, I think you know, it was a different time. When Scam 1992 came out, we were in the pandemic.
Yes.
We were at home.
Yes.
We were a captive audience.
Yes.
Today, I mean, we are you know, producing material day in, day out. You know, see this entire year, the kind of work, the kind of output that the entire industry has produced. Films, series, you know, it's been like constantly good work, you know. So we, you know, Trial by Fire, Rocket Boys, Scoop, Cora, I mean, you name it, it's just been a huge, the hard, I mean, every platform. It's so amazing to be part of this movement, and at the same time engage with such a large audience. You know, in spite of all that, the amount of material that is there, you're realizing that there's a large audience which is engaging with you. You know, I've been told that the numbers are better than the first season. So whatever those numbers are, but it's very encouraging to see that, you know, in spite of that, so many people are engaging.
Okay. And the reactions have become more direct because of social media. So I'll leave you with telling me about the best one that has reached you, which you think is really, really special. Anything that you remember, anything that you must have, you know, the fans must have told you.
I've been reading so many comments on social media. It's just flooded. My Instagram is flooded right now. I'll go back to the comment that I read about the comparison between 1992 and 2003. There was this one man who commented, one fan who commented, but nobody can beat Pratik Gandhi, and he looked a little angry about me doing this role. He seemed to be very angry about it. And then another fan who replied to him, nobody is beating Pratik Gandhi. He was Hansal Mehta. This guy is Abdul Karim Telgi. And I'm like, yes, I like you, man. I like you. Really, I like you.
That's the engagement we are talking about.
Yeah, I mean, the engagement has been phenomenal from the day the show came out. You know, and a major number of people have said it's lived up to the previous. There are many people who have seen it for what it is. And there are colleagues from the industry, you know, like Arvind Swamy, for example. He wrote to both of us. You know, he just kept you know message. Finally, he told me, he said, "I think I'm spamming you now." But it was so amazing, you know. And then him calling Gagan, engaging with him. And so many people from the industry have called me. Said, "What a phenomenal show!" You know. So I think ultimately the success will be evaluated 6 months later. It's still early, you know. 6 months later, when we see Gagan taking on more work, different characters, and the kind of characters he gets and the kind of money he's paid to do those, that is when I will evaluate the true success of the show.
That's very well said, Hansal sir. Thank you so much. And Gagan, thank you so much. And I'm glad you found time to come here and speak to me. All the best for Scam and for your future work. Thank you so much. Thank you.